What up, guys? It's Dr. Vic, and you're listening to another episode here on the Mindful Experiment. Excited to have you here. I know it's been a little bit since I've been on the podcast. Took a little couple weeks off to just get prepped and ready for the house. My wife is, at this recording, she is 37 weeks pregnant, soon to be 38 in a few days, and we are just getting ready. We are excited for our daughter to come, and just want to make sure the nest is ready for her. So we are stoked, we are excited, and I'm just looking forward to this new journey and stepping into a whole new world of being a dad and the amazing experience that's going to come with that. All the good, all what people call the bad, and all of it. I'm just walking in with an open mind and very excited. I took some time off also because my new book just came out. Decoding the Matrix literally just came out about a week ago and today from the recording, and it's one of the things where I am so excited. The reviews have been absolutely mind-blowing and changing for each individual. It's amazing when this is my third book, and it still amazes me how when I write a book, there's a certain process I want people to see. There's a certain thing that I want to get people to, and I'm planting so many seeds to hopefully have them awaken in their own way. And to see the difference in each individual's and each review has just been absolutely amazing. And we got more and more coming in. Right now, you can get the book Kindle. I think it's for like 99 cents. We're going to be holding it off for a little bit like that. And then if you want an autographed copy of the book, there is a link in the show notes. You can go ahead. You get it for 50% off what Amazon is selling it at. And we will also throw in a couple freebies if you do go choose to do that. So check out the show notes. Get a click. Get the book. I'm highly recommend it. It's the one that I am very proud of writing. I mean, all my books I have been, but this one I feel like is at the right time. It's the perfect timing for it. And it's really going to be a game changer and help you unleash your potential and truly just level up in life in all aspects. Today's episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about diving deep into understanding how much are we truly limited, or are we limited, and what really are our limits. This is a question I think humans have been trying to understand for eons, right? Years ago, Roger Bannister, I think it is. Anyhow, I'm messing up his last name. But he was a man who broke the 4-minute mile, which people have tried to do for years and thought it was impossible. And since then, tens and tens and tens of thousands of people have done it. High schoolers are doing it. And so, again, how limited are we? You know, we couldn't go out to space, and then we did. We couldn't do this, but now we did. We couldn't do that, but now we can. And so the question becomes, in our own personal life, right? These are feats that are, okay, they're out there. But we have to take that into our own personal life. What are the limits that we really have that hold us back? What are the limits that hold us down? And my research, and I share this in Decoding the Matrix, but my understanding and what I've experienced in my own life, working with hundreds of entrepreneurs and working with thousands and thousands of patients, is understanding the power of what the body can do from a healing perspective, working with clients in coaching and so forth, and seeing the levels when someone breaks through and has a quantum leap in their life. And then it's just like, man, that was awesome. Even for as a coach, I'm like, this is exciting for them, right? And then it's like, my question always is like, how high can we go? What's the level we're going to hit? When we going to, slow it down, regroup, and then go again? And it's amazing. I don't see ends. Like, it doesn't happen. I didn't see that in my life. I didn't see it in others. And why is it then that people have limits? Why is it that people have things that hold them back, that don't allow them to level up in their life in some way, shape, or form? What are the things that aren't allowing for that? And I think this is a critical, kind of a concept to really look at, because I think it's a game changer in many ways when you can start to remove the limits, because most of the time the limits are conditioned. Most of the time, the limits that you think that you can't get to, and you may say, well, I don't have any limits, man. I think impossible, and that's where I can go. Well, then why is it not showing up in your life after a period of time? I mean, there has to come a point. Let's be real with each other here. If we're going to create true transformation, we have to be 100% authentic with ourselves. And that is, there comes a certain point where you should see that limit be broken. And if you're not getting there, there is something, most of the time right here in your mind, that's not allowing you to level up to that level. And it's not allowing you to really create that massive shift that you're looking for. And so we got to dive deeper then. Because in my research, and again, I share this in Decoding the Matrix like crazy, we get into beliefs and we talk about how and we were conditioned, how society has conditioned us. And it's really like a program of this is what like human life is. So if you ask somebody like from a global standpoint, what is human life like? What are their struggles? What are the things they challenge? What are the things we notice, right? And you can go many different directions with that, but that conditioning plays a role on our minds, our impressible minds, when we are developing from age 0 to 7. And so a lot of times our limits are conditioned into us. As children, we don't have limits. We have all these wonderful, beautiful imaginations that are just so out there. And most of the time, adults will hinder that. But like, if they're just a kid, this is why they think that way. Instead of, no, that's actually could be real. What if we cultivated that more, right? Because then as adults, we would cultivate going to our limitless potential. I wasn't conditioned this way. I was conditioned the opposite, that we have limits, that there's certain things, there's just way things work in life. That's just how it is, and you just have to accept it. And there came a point in my life where I started to go, you know what, I want to challenge this. I want to see that what can I do for myself, for my family, and how can I level up in many different ways. And once I started to do this kind of work, I started to see big changes and shifts in my life to where all of a sudden it became a point where I started to break a limit here. I started to break a limit there. And I started to realize it wasn't all the doing that I was putting the force into, it was just the being that I had to look at. It was all here. I had to let go of some beliefs because I already have the doing side, right? Most of us are already doing that. If you're in business and you're an entrepreneur, you're already doing too much. And it's more about how we got to get back to being. And I'm not saying you're not going to do work. You have to work. But the key is knowing to where to put your energy and following the law of least effort. That's going to be the key to making this huge shift. And so if we can remove the limits in our mind, we can start to experience what limitless life looks like, right? How much can we tap into the mind and unlock it? I mean, imagine just 1% change in our brain, using 1 more percent of our brain. We know we use around 10%. So imagine we use 11%. What would happen then? What would we be able to do? What if we went to 15 or 20? The amount of computing power that we can do, the amount of telekinesis, telepathic communication, all these things would just evolve like crazy, right? So that reality exists. It's there. And there's so much more beyond that. That's what I love about what I do learning from being a chiropractor is that there's infinite, no matter where somebody was in a state of disease, condition, symptoms, or illnesses, whatever that was, through chiropractic care, and then also other holistic stuff I would use, the body will turn and heal as long as you support it. And it's amazing no matter how many odds are against you, the body, as long as you support it, the body will turn and heal. And that concept taught me so much to where I learned that even with the mind and in life, it doesn't matter what's showing up in your life. It doesn't matter what happened. You could be 1 second away from a massive breakthrough to where your whole life is going to shift and change. And it's just a matter of the timing when you're ready for that. And so can you be somebody who grew up in poverty and struggled and was homeless and all these other things, and 3 years later be a multi-$100+ million net worth? Absolutely. Just because it doesn't happen often doesn't mean it can't happen. Because if it happens for one, it can happen for another. There are simple principles to this. If you want to be the most insane shape of your life, you can do that at any age. I love when I see a 60-year-old in great shape. I'm talking good physical health, good muscular shredded, the whole 9 yards. I love seeing that. Or when they go and they can outperform a 20-year-old with pull-ups and stuff like that. I love when they can outperform me in that kind of stuff. It's just like, holy cow, this is awesome, right? They are defying odds to what the conditioning of the mind and what we've been conditioned as society, right? In America, we fear getting older. We don't look forward to getting older. We don't look forward to the beautiful aging process. We think of all the loss of physicality, the loss of this, diseases, and all these other things, and that becomes most of the time our reality because we're focusing there. Where I know I had a conversation with someone I was interviewing that will be released in a couple months, and it was all about like learning how to appreciate the aging process and the gifts that aging gives us, right? Instead of say aging, we should say our experiences in life. But coming back to the point of today's podcast is that the only limit you truly have in your life is the limit you put on yourself. That's it. The only limit you have in your business, the only limit you have in your relationship, the only limit you have in your health, the only limit you have in your mindset and mission and purpose and everything that you do is the limit you put on you. And I'm going to give you one clue into this. most of the time that limit is a belief. There is some conditioned belief that you can't do this or that. When I first came out of chiropractic school, I was told that be careful who you share your dream with, because they're going to share their fears and limited beliefs with you. They're not doing this on purpose. They're doing it because from a state of love from where they are. So it's not that they're trying to wish harm upon you. It's just this is where they are. And I was thankful for that advice, because when I came out, I saw it. When I came out, I would hear it. When I came out, there's things I wanted to do, the way I wanted to run my business, how I wanted to share chiropractic, the things I wanted to do. And some of it I listened to me, and some of it I kind of gave in over time. And then I had to go revisit all this again 5-6 years later and change it all up to be back to what I really wanted it to be. And so it's one of those principles that every time I thought there was a limit or I couldn't do this, I would get curious and challenge it. And what I found out is the limit was always my mind. Because you have to understand, we are in a being, we have a lack of beingness in this world, and we have more of a doingness in this world. And with information and so forth, we're doing more and more, and we're losing the being side. So then we wonder why we're getting burned out, exhausted, fatigued, can't get to, just on the go, need more caffeine, pump more adrenaline, keep firing the body up all like crazy, just to try to keep up with the doingness. When in reality, you don't need any of that when you get the beingness. You only need 20% of the output, 10 to 20% of the work when you focus on the being. And we are creating the ball and chain on life and what's holding us back and not allowing us to truly thrive. And so once we could take away the balls and chains and the bowling balls that are holding us down, now we can really soar. And then it becomes, well, what's the next limit I want to break? What's the next limit I want to break? Because that's the path to the limitless life. You see, we don't know what our limits are. We don't really have them. But to be limitless, we have to go and challenge. We have to go see what that next ceiling is, and then figure out how do we go through that. And the next one, and figure out what we have to go through that. Because if you can hone in on this one belief, this one code that you are limitless, and you create the impossible, if you can hone in on that, every single aspect, this is what I call living your soul-filled life. Because now you're being a soul in the physical form. Because as a soul, we can do endless things. We can choose endless things. We're infinite. And we can choose anything that we like to have it as an experience and have it. We are not held down by anything. Yes, when you come into the physical world, there are some physical limitations that you have, but even those we're starting to see that we can overcome. So even with the old laws of Newtonian physics is actually being overruled and rewritten now by quantum physics. And we're understanding this. We're just starting to dive in deep into this quantum world, which is going to be a game changer for every fabric of our life. And I look forward to it. And I'm so blessed, and I hope you feel the same way, to be alive at this time as we go through this massive shift. So I appreciate you tuning in. So glad to be back here. I'll be here for I may be doing another week. I'll be doing another episode of myself sharing some wonderful nuggets of wisdom. I'm going to be out for about 6 weeks to just finalize the preps for my beautiful daughter to come into this world and get her ready, and I'll be sharing updates from time to time. So make sure you check out on socials when I'm doing, follow me on there. If you enjoyed the podcast, please do me a huge favor and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. We do 2 a week. And also, if you thought this was inspiring and uplifting and you got something out of this, pay it forward by sharing with someone that you know that can benefit from this. As always, and if you really, really love the episode and the podcast and you've been listening to it for a while, please do us a huge favor, share a review. It gets the word out there to help move our mission forward. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Dr. Vic here. Out.